Okay, this game just ended in Denver, Colorado. Ryan Clark not playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Coach's decision. The coach sat him down because of, obviously, his blood trait disorder. And Ben Roethlisberger playing with an injured ankle. As for the way this game unfolded, the Pittsburgh Steelers started off quite well, with Heath Miller getting a 33-yard gain and Ben Roethlisberger getting knocked right down, and maybe that gimpy ankle tightened up on him in the first half of this game. They did only get 3 points out of that. As for Tim Tebow, he was slinging it early on in this game on 3rd and 7. Eddie Royal, it's incomplete.
A lot of tight coverage right here in the game, Rich. He missed that throw right there. But, boy, we got some highlights for it.
Broncos next possession, down 3-0. Tebow trying to buy time. He does buy time. Flings it to Dante Rosario, incomplete. Only 8 total yards in the first quarter, and you thought maybe the mismatch was on. Second quarter we go. It's 6-0 Pittsburgh. Here's Tim Tebow flipping it to Eric Decker, and that is James Harrison hitting him and knocking him out of the game.
He hit him low, and he hit him legally, and it's a good hit, and that's what happens when you don't wear any pads on your legs.
Now, somebody's knee is blown out because of the rules.
And James Harrison
talked from hitting him up top.
He talked about this. He said, I don't want to go down low. It's too dangerous for players when they were finding him for hitting players in the head.
Well, Tomlin challenged that ruling on the field of a completed pass was, and that was a good challenge. It was incomplete. Decker, however, one of Tebow's favorite targets, out of the game. Second quarter, which has been a bugaboo for the Denver Broncos the past month, suddenly not so much, as Tebow finds Demaryius Thomas for 51 yards, the first 30-plus yard completion allowed on 3rd down by the Steelers all season. And then Tebow finds Eddie Royal 2 plays later, touchdown.
Tim Tebow looks off the free safety, so he can't get down the right sideline. He pops this thing up over the top of the defender, perfectly thrown, touchdown.
LeBeau has to be puzzled because he's calling the correct defenses, but the defensive backs aren't making the plays.
First touchdown in 22 consecutive possessions for the Denver Broncos offense. They're up 7-6, and Ben Roethlisberger from Mike Wallace complete on 2nd and 10. John Fox, however, challenges the ruling of a catch on the field, and this was a quality challenge.
It sure was, because this ball goes through his hands, hits the ground, he bobbles it, no catch.
No catch indeed. Steelers forced to punt.
Tebow said, yes!
And meanwhile, Brett Kiesel's in pajamas. He had a groin injury. Casey Hampton on that defensive line tweaked a knee. He was out of the game as well. So the Steelers already without Ryan Clark and with their quarterback banged up, without 2 crucial members on the defensive line, and Tebow was finding Demaryius Thomas at will. This is now a 58-yard game.
Just a 2-man row.
Everybody talks about the blueprint for defense. Tebow.
2 plays later, here is Tim Tebow calling his own number up the gut. Dick LeBeau watches Tebow put 2 touchdowns on his defense in the second quarter to go up 14-6. Steelers, how can they respond? Ben Roethlisberger, as I said early on, maybe his ankle was tweaked because he looked like the pocket passer that he usually is not. Taken down by Robert Ayers, and Ben comes up hobbling again. Next play, 3rd and 16 from their own 14. Roethlisberger throwing over the middle. Don't throw there. Picked by Quentin Carter. Returns it 18 yards to the 9-yard line. Ben hit again at limping up. Dion, what happened here?
I can't wait till you see this coverage. Most teams can only play this because you have Champ Bailey down low. He's the catalyst of this defense. You have covering Antonio Brown, safety Quentin Carter is playing center field. He's the rat. Everybody else is playing outside, the slot, the other receivers. Underneath coverage, the rat is reading Big Ben's eyes, and he's going to slowly show cover to the Champ Bailey and ease down and make this interception, reading Big Ben's eyes. Great play. Perfect execution.
I like the rat.
Broncos next possession. Tebow picks the ball up from his ankles and flips it in the end zone. Incomplete, however, back in the pocket. James Harrison, this is called roughing the pass. What is up with this one? I mean, oh boy. Half the distance to the goal enforced. 3 plays later, Tim Tebow on 3rd and goal. He's scrambling, and it's incomplete. So the roughing the passer penalty really doesn't affect him, except it's a settled field goal. 17-6. Broncos with 4 minutes to go in the half. Tebow rolling out.
Nice design.
Daniel Fells wide open.
Nice design. They saw us in the film room when he started coming across the field. Your boy Troy Polamalu bit up, and the tight end went up the field for the long
Led to a Prater field goal. Ben trying to get some points before the half with a minute to go. Finds Antonio Brown 25 yards, but Marquise Pouncey's out of this game, and his replacement, Dan Legursky, flips the snap over Roethlisberger's head, so no points for the Steelers, who are down 20-6 at the half of this crucial wild card game. Second half, we go midway through. Ball is loose. It looks like it's a backwards pass and that the Denver Broncos hop on the loose ball. John Fox challenges, but the ruling is that a forward backwards pass is not challengeable by the defense for the possession of the ball. The only way you can challenge it is to get the loss of yardage if it is indeed ruled a backwards pass. So the Steelers get the ball back, and Roethlisberger flips it down the field.
That's a dumb rule.
To Emmanuel Sanders. 18 yards. 4 plays later, Isaac Redman in for the injured Rashard Mendenhall going to the goal line. He gets in the end zone. It's ruled a touchdown. All scoring plays are reviewed. It's not a fumble. Called a touchdown after further review. It's not a fumble, but it's also not a touchdown.
The knee is down and the ball's not quite across the goal line.
So, first and goal. Redman flips it. It's flipped out to Mike Wallace. That's a touchdown, 20-13. It's a one-touchdown game. Tim Tebow is warming up.
Running a reverse.
Broncos next possession. Tebow flipping it out. It's incomplete. Ike Taylor had an off day.
Taylor had an off day. He did challenge the receivers with bumping and run. They kept getting off the ball. Outside, inside releases. He had a tough day.
First down for the Broncos. 4 plays later at the Steelers 35. Tebow keeping it.
The zone read. He fools James Harrison now for the big first down.
First down, 3 plays later. 15 ticks left in the third quarter. Tebow flips it out. Nice throw to Lance Ball. Look at him moving the chains. He's
He looked
firing
good on that one.
They said pull the trigger. Elway said pull the trigger. He was pulling the trigger.
Hold it.
It's 20-13. Fourth quarter now. Tebow in the red zone. Flips this one out to Eddie Royal. But there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, we're blocking downfield now during the screen.
The play took too long to develop.
Yeah, but what a job by Tebow getting that ball off. Yeah, that's 12 Willis down there blocking. He can't do that.
So they have to settle for another field goal, but settling it makes it a 2-possession game. 23-13. Roethlisberger hands off to Isaac Redman.
Nice cut.
Game.
Best game of his life.
28 yards. Redman at 121 on the day. First down, Steelers at the Broncos 23. 3 plays later. 3rd and 6. Roethlisberger looking for his tight end. Heath Miller incomplete. So Sean Shreesham comes in and hits a field goal to make it a 1-touchdown game. Broncos get the ball back. 8.5. Tebow again at Demarius Thomas.
Nice back shoulder throw. You don't see this very often from Tim Tebow, but he's getting better, Mike.
204 yards receiving for Thomas. You'll see how he got his final yards of the day. But Willis McGahee puts the ball on the turf with 7.5 minutes to go. Lamar Woodley recovers after further review. John Fox throws the challenge flag. Ball loose before knees come down, and that is the way the Steelers get the ball back, trying to tie the game, keep their season alive, and hope to get the trip to New England next Saturday night on Divisional Saturday. That is the way Willis McGahee gave Ben Roethlisberger the ball, plus side of the field, 3rd and 1. Here's Isaac Redman moving the chains, 4 yards, first down.
He ran the ball tough today.
3 plays later at the Broncos 31, Roethlisberger flipping it to Mike Wallace. Oh, Champ Bailey almost puts it on.
No, maybe that's a game ender
That
right there.
a great play.
All right.
Champ Bailey, one of the all-time best, could have blows that into his 2 and his 4 to wrap things up. Instead, it's new life for Roethlisberger. Next play from the 31. Roethlisberger doing what we didn't see him in the first half, extending the play with his legs and his hurt ankle, and he finds Jericho Cotchery for the touchdown.
That's the Ben we see time and time again. Extend the play, find the receiver, scramble drill. Touchdown.
So it's a tie game at 23, but it's enough time for Tebow time. Tebow. Whoa. Tebow to Daniel Fell, 17 yards, first down. Broncos 3 plays later. $1:51 left, 3rd and 8. Whoa. Tebow. No. So the Broncos have to punt it. Now it's Big Ben time.
Ben time.
Can he get the comeback win on the road in the playoffs? Roethlisberger, he is sacked by Von Miller.
Down goes Ben.
A minute 4 left in the game. Roethlisberger, 2nd and 14. Antonio Brown moved the chains. First down, I'm rhyming. 33 ticks to go. Roethlisberger trying to get to the plus side of the field. Emmanuel Sanders does just that. Nice catch.
His last name.
Sean Schweischem trying to kick to end the game. Sean Schweischem is warming up on the sidelines. 29 seconds to go. Roethlisberger sacked once by Von Miller. Now here comes Dumerville.
Church's money on the ground.
Final timeout for the Steelers. 1 second left. Do you attempt one from 67 yards, or do you force overtime for the first time of the new rules? They go for the Hail Mary.
Oh, boy.
You can't beat Tim Tebow on a Hail Mary. No. Come on. So it's time for overtime. What are the rules in overtime? What are the rules? Bottom line is whoever wins the coin toss can't just march down the field and get a field goal to win. If that's what happens, the other team has an opportunity to match with a field goal and move things forward under the old overtime rules. However, whichever team gets the ball first, if that team scores a touchdown, well, that would wrap things up. Let's see what happens.
We need a touchdown.
Who got the ball first? That would be the Denver Broncos. Tails did fail for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tim Tebow gets his first chance. First pass, first play of the new overtime. Demarius touchdown! Wraps it up, one and done. John Elway can't believe it. John Elway, made famous for one of the longest game-winning drives in playoff history, watches a one throw from Tim Tebow to Demarius Thomas, and that is the way Tim Tebow and Demarius Thomas, the first-round picks of Josh McDaniels, will see Josh McDaniels next week in New England. Holy smokes! That is the way the Denver Broncos wrap up wild card weekend. Hose me down, why don't you? Tim Tebow throws for 3 bills. Demarius Thomas catches for 2 bills. And that is the way the Broncos advance.